Welcome to the Eagle Tribune Thursday football show. We're here with Player of the Week, Connor Bradley of Whittier Tech. Connor coming off a terrific game over arch rival Greater Lawrence Tech with 3 TD passes, a TD run, 159 passing yards. But how'd you manage to get everything clicking like that in the big game versus the arch rival, Connor?
Well, we're coming off 2 straight losses, and we knew that the seniors came together, and we knew that we had to have a stronger week of practice preparing for Greater Lawrence. We always know it's a tough game with them. So the seniors kind of pulled it together, and we said that we had to have a good week of practice, and we did. I thought we had our best week of practice that I've had here in 3 years, and that really showed on the game field on Saturday.
And it really showed some maturity from you and the fellow senior leaders, Connor, because that was a really, really tough loss. That when you look back in your career, you might look back at the loss from the week before, and that might be the toughest one. How do you put that behind you?
Well, putting it behind it's tough. We're coming down to the end. We had the chance to win. And whenever you have the chance to win and you lose, it's always disappointing. But, we kind of had to focus coming into league play. We knew that we had to win the league to get to the playoffs, and that was kind of our main focus. So we kind of had to start over, figure out what we did wrong. We didn't dwell on the past, but we kind of look forward to Saturday.
Okay. And how about this week? When do you play Northeast? I'm sorry, what day is that?
We play on Friday night.
And that, everyone is buzzing about that could be the game of the year in the CAC, and that could have huge playoff implications, and that's probably your closest and the biggest game every year. What are your thoughts on that?
The last 2 years, both time we played them, it comes down to whoever has the ball last, and whatever team had the ball last ended up winning the game the last 2 years. They took the CAC championship away from us last year, so this week's kind of a big revenge week for us, and we look forward to getting them back on their field.
And geez, you got that classic tale, Connor, playing for Dad. It's going to be pretty neat. Your father, one of the most well-known, most well-respected figures in local sports, former, I think, Eagle Tribune Man of the Year. What's it like playing for Dad?
I like it. It has its ups and downs, but at the end of the day, he's always there for me, and he's always looking to help me out. At home watching film, or just on the car rides home, talking about the game, talking about strategy. And just having a coach there and being able to talk about the game as much as we do, it's kind of nice.
You have to have one of the craziest schedules, Connor, for you individually of any athlete in the area. #1 in your class, looking at valedictorian honors potentially, class president, school committee representative, starting quarterback, 3-sport athlete. How the heck do you do it, Mr. Bradley?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I get home and it feels like I've never left school. I'm always doing something. Now applying for colleges and stuff. I never have time for that too. So it's kind of tough, but you got to be able to manage your time well in order to be up there. So it has its challenges, but you try to pass them.
How many hours a night are you getting studying with all those responsibilities? Not studying, I'm sorry, sleep. More important than studying. How many hours of sleep do you get?
It's hard to find sleep, when I get home, whether it's homework, working on some class president stuff or school committee stuff, and then watching film too for football, getting ready for the game. So sleep, it comes little, but it's kind of worth it in the end.
Well, with that resume, you must have some terrific college options. You have to apply and see if you get in, but what schools you're looking at is class president, star quarterback, and valedictorian. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm still looking around. I have a list going for me, but hopefully everything plans out. I've been looking at some schools down south and some schools up here too.
What's the dream school if everything goes perfectly?
I don't know if I have a dream school right now, but I'd say maybe Boston College or Duke University.
Eagles, Blue Devils, don't be nitwits. Connor's the man. With Central Catholic standout defensive lineman Jorge Elias, who's our lineman of the week. Coach Adamopoulos really won't nominate people for awards like this unless he thinks they're immensely worthy. And he said Jorge was immense. Big win over Andover. Shut him down pretty good in the second half, Jorge. 3 sacks on the game. Give us your thoughts on the big win over Andover.
The win was pretty big, major for us. It was kind of the bounce-back win after our loss at St. John's Prep. So this week, we just came out and we played our hearts out on Friday night because we knew that was the start of the MVC week, so we had to beat our arch rival Andover.
What was it like at halftime? Sort of a strange game. 14-7, you guys were down, and then a whole different ball game second half and right to the 49-35 win.
Yeah, and at halftime we came into the locker room. We weren't dejected, but we were kind of like disappointed with our performance in the first half because we were playing a little sloppy on defense and on offense. So in the second half we just came out. We had to play our own game, and we knew that if we ran the ball right and the defense held their ground, we would be able to pull out the win.
You're known, Jorge, as one of the area's premier sack masters. What's the key to being a devastating pass rusher?
For me, it's just I usually have to take on a lot of double teams at the nose guard position, so I just drive my feet and hit as many moves as possible. And when I get the opening, I just run right at the quarterback because I know if I let him outside of me, I'm gonna get ridiculed at practice. So the goal is always just get the quarterback on the ground no matter what.
Do you have a pet move? What's your most devastating move?
My pet move is the rip to the swim, or the rip to the just the rip to just open hip, and I just get right through.
And you want to show me what you would do if you had a really awful center?
Usually I just come up, I just get right past him right here, just run up right at the quarterback.
No, I like it. I like it. And geez, one of 5 captains for the 5th-ranked team in the entire state in the ESPN Boston poll, coming off the historic Division I state championship at Gillette. What's it like to be a Central Catholic Raider football star these days?
To be a captain is a great honor. After 4 years here at Central playing, I really felt like I kind of showed all the youngsters throughout the years that if you work hard, you'll be able to be a key starter for the varsity. So it just means a lot to me because I worked my butt up from freshman to varsity, and I just take every play as a gift because I had to earn this, and I just don't want to lose it again.
Time and time again when we see stories on you, Jorge, the word we see is feisty. Where does that nastiness that every coach loves out of his linemen come from?
Well, it just comes from inside. I don't know. Just during the game, I just click a switch and I just get into the zone. I just can't really explain it. It's just a mentality I get into during the game.
Congratulations to our lineman of the week, Mr. Jekyll and Hyde, sweetheart off the field, killer on the field, Jorge Elias. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Eagle Tribune High School Football Show. He's Mike Muldoon, I'm Dave Willis, and we are into October. It's getting cold outside, and we have a 3-day high school football week this week, which, of course, I love.
4. Who's counting Big Dave?
Oh, I forgot about Phillips. It is 4. Look at that, it's 4. So, we start off with Thursday's games. We're starting with the ever-fun high school football rivalry between Andover and Chelmsford, the team that's historically given Andover fits over the years.
They really have. It's almost fluky. Obviously, Andover's had a lot of fine teams over the years, but Chelmsford is really dominated. Going back to the Cato versus Collins era 25, 30 years ago, get a hunch. I think Chelmsford will continue that domination.
Yeah, I mean, going back to last week, Andover's offense looked fantastic against Central. Their defense, not so good. If they can repeat that offensive effort and actually, play some quality defense, who knows what'll happen. That being said, I think Chelmsford's going to win.
Great.
Okay, we go on to the next one. We've got North Reading coming off their first loss of the season against Masco, who's 2-1. Their losses to Reading. Masco's going to win this one.
Yeah, it's the old cliche, throw the records out the window with a different twist. Masco plays a brutal non-league slate to get ready for the Cal slate, and they should flex their muscles.
Yeah, North Reading's looking good, but they lost to the Port. And close out the Thursday slate, we've got Georgetown and Ipswich. Ipswich is 0-3. I saw them in the preseason. Maybe I'm just mad because they're wearing all black uniforms. That's possible. But I think Georgetown, which won last week, is going to continue. I think they're going to win.
I do too. I don't know if we're crazy because Georgetown had its first Cal win in 4 years. I'm going back to back. Sounds crazy.
Okay, now we go into the Friday slate, and we're going to start with North Andover hosting winless Drake-Its. This looks like, this couldn't be a better situation for North Andover. They start off hot. They lose last week to an obviously very tough Tewksbury squad. Now they get Drake-It. Drake-It's winless, and they're giving up about a little over 30 points a game. So I really think North Andover is going to come in and win this one.
Yeah, Drake-It's been struggling, and they'll be probably struggling and demoralized. Lost in the last 90 seconds. Coughed up a 13-point lead in the last 6 minutes to Methuen. So it doesn't look good for the Middies.
Yeah. So I think North Andover bounces back in that one. Then we have Salem at 3-1, taking on an Alvern team at 3-1, which I never could have believed in a million years. Salem bounced back last week after that tough loss to Pinkerton. I think Salem keeps rolling here. I saw Alvern in the preseason. I'm just not believers. I know they have a 3-1 record. I'm not believers. I am believers.
Yeah, Alvern has the just seems like an asterisk 3-1. They put together their 3 straight wins, but a 63-20 season opening loss to Pinkerton. It's hard to move past a 63-20 loss.
A Pinkerton team that Salem almost beat. So, and I've said it before, I'm a believer in Salem. I think they, win this one easy. You agree with me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now we have the team one of the teams we visited earlier this week. We've got Whittier playing at Northeast. I have good feelings about Whittier. Again, maybe it's just because I was there. I talked to the Bradleys. I think Whittier, they're coming off their biggest win of the season against Greater Lawrence. I think Whittier keeps going here.
It's an interesting rivalry. Sometimes the Commonwealth Conference maybe is a bit under the radar, or more than a bit under the radar. But these guys have been talking about it all week. This is a big showdown. This is probably the game of the year in the CAC. Just a little concerned. There was some building issues at Whittier. I think there was some flooding. Lost a day of practice. It's always a big rivalry. I wonder if that's going to be a little bit too much to overcome. I think I'll go with Northeast Metro for Steve Palladino in that one.
All right, we split on this one. Next up, we have Wyndham going to Sauhegan. Wyndham's just going to keep rolling. They're not going to lose to Sauhegan.
Yeah, Wyndham last week was Shea and Jollicoeur. The week before I think it was McInnes. Bale's always in there. Just a bevy of talent, and they're going to be tough to stop.
They really don't get enough credit. Brendan McGinnis gets all the credit. They have a lot of playmakers.
Yes, they're not lacking.
Okay, now we have Londonderry coming off an absolutely brutal MAC-Plac loss to Pinkerton. Playing host to the best possible person they could be hosting. It's Keene, which is 0-4, and of course has to go all the way from Keene to Londonderry, which nobody likes. Londonderry, this is just, they couldn't have drawn it up better. They're going to bounce back with a win in this one.
Yeah, Londonderry 42-6.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, we got Brooks 2-0, hosting St. George. I say Brooks keeps rolling.
Yeah, Brooks is got Foley. He's got coaching in his blood, and it's people in North Andover seem to be happy to have him. 2-0. We'll make it 3-0. Sorry, St. George's.
Yeah, and to close out the Friday slate, we've got Nashua South playing at Timberlane. Timberlane, which pushed Salem to the limits. South is 1-2. I think Timberlane. I'm going Timberlane in this one.
Hey, this is interesting. We've got a lot of different picks. I think I'm going with South. I'm just basing it on the North rivalry. South beat their arch rivals. Timberlane lost to them. We'll stick with that theory and go with South.
Good point. I'm not terribly impressed by what I looked up with South, and I just think Timberlane could be going on a little bit of a streak here. Okay, now we go into the Saturday slate. Start off with an always fun rivalry. We've got Methuen going to Haverhill. Haverhill coming off an absolute dismantling of Lawrence. They looked awesome. And Methuen coming off their first win of the season. Haverhill's the better team in this one. As much respect as I have for Methuen, it's great they're coming off their first win. They had a nice rally. Haverhill looked absolutely awesome against Lawrence. I think they've cleaned up a lot of the problems they had from their central loss.
Yeah, Haverhill at this point, you might consider themselves sort of a middle-of-the-pack team in the MVC, but they're a middle-of-the-pack team clearly capable by the end of the year being a top echelon team with the cream of the crop. So I think you have to go with the brown and gold in this one.
They're still my pick to win the MVC Small. Okay, we have what used to be the greatest game in all of New Hampshire. I've gone to some incredible games at Stellos and at Pinkerton. For Pinkerton and BG, lost its luster right now. Pinkerton's still on top. They're still beating the heck out of everyone. BG's 1-3. Pinkerton's going to win this one in a landslide.
Yeah, so sometimes a Catholic school, a lot is dependent on the coach. They had a great coach in Tony Johnson back in the day. It just hasn't really clicked post-Johnson era. TJ Urbanic came back healthy last week. Everybody they lost the Hanson kid. That's a big loss, but they got Urbanic back. That was huge. Everybody had their fingers crossed. So with him pretty healthy, you got to go with the Astros in a cakewalk.
Makes me sad because I remember a few great trips I had to Stellos to see this game when it was a great rivalry. Okay, now we have Newburyport at Pentucket. Pentucket coming off an absolutely not heartbreaking, just a devastating loss to Triton, which Triton really dominated that game. Newburyport's coming in at 2-1. They're looking good. I'm going to have to go against my Sachems on this one. I think, don't forget how big a rivalry this is. Because next to Triton, Newburyport is the team against Pentucket because as a Pentucket grad, we all go to the same places as Newburyport and we run into each other all the time. But I got to pick Newburyport in this one.
Yeah, with all due respect to you getting your butt kicked at the Grog, it just seemed like there was a lot of drama in Pentucket. It was a tough week at the school with losing a student tragically. That's tough for young kids to deal with. Newburyport's got a good club. I just think it's probably got to take Newburyport.
Funny you say the Grog because my mom used to wait tables at the Grog.
Nice.
Okay, and now we've got Sanborn playing host to winless Conval. I think Sanborn on this one.
Yeah, if nothing else, playing some pretty good ball lately and home field advantage anyway.
All right, we got Lawtown and Lawrence traveling to the worst place they could be going after that dismantling at the hands of Haverhill. They have to travel to Tewksbury, which is never good. And so, Tewksbury's hot. Tewksbury plays on their messy natural grass field, whereas Lawrence is built for speed. Tewksbury in this one. Yeah,
a lot of people thought maybe in the post-Johnny Aylward era they'd come back to earth a little bit, come back to the middle of the pack. They're rolling, they're flying. Redmen.
Yep. Then we got Monadnock going to Pelham. Looks like Monadnock's a pretty strong team. I'm going to have to go with them.
Yeah, they got a little bit of Wyndham in them. You look at the numbers, and they win with lopsided scores, so Monadnock looks to be the pick.
Okay, we got Greater Lawrence trying to bounce back from their loss to their arch rival Whittier. They're playing host to Greater Lowell, another team that used to be a contender now. It's been on tough times for a long time now.
Yeah.
I think I see Greater Lawrence bouncing back in this one.
Yeah, Greater Lowell's winless, and I guess the interesting thing to see there will be who'll be the Lawrence quarterback. They went with Vasconcelos, and they went with Angel Martin, so it'll be interesting to see who they settle on there, but Reggie's looked to have the upper hand.
Now the team that I forgot to put on my list. It's a Sunday game. No offense to Coach Mo, Leon Modesti, one of everybody's favorites. We've got... You're in
Choate, yeah, we have Phillips at Choate, 1 p.m. We got the Wild Boars coming to town. You just look at the numbers. Choate has won 3 in a row, 3-0 in the year, 141-0 margin. They look like they're a prep powerhouse, much like Phillips was last year. But Phillips rebuilding a little bit, hasn't found its way. So gonna go with Choate.
Yeah, after we can go Choate. Okay, that's it. That wraps up the slate. Enjoy another week of high school football.